Oral literature has the ability to mold itself and transform into any vehicle its public needs it to be. From the couriers of history to entertaining anecdotes, the form and content are able to vary in a way that is led by the audience that is consuming it. Oral literature is unique in that its delivery depends on the audience. It is intertwined with culture and language and visual storytelling, unlike written literature, one could argue. There are aspects in literature that live only when spoken and or performed. While many oral literatures can be and do get transcribed, there is a difference between seeing or hearing a scene in a play and reading it. The right performance, the right person or people can make those same words come alive like never before. The crescendo of a voice, the expression on a face, or the twist of a body all add to why oral literature has lived on for so long. Its living quality. This is not to say that written literature does not live. It does, in its own way. However, this is about oral literature's many lives, its many faces. Some genres that are put in the oral literature category are folktales, lament songs, praise songs, work songs, folk drama, myth, legend, historical recitation, proverbs, and riddles. The vehicles of these subcategories may vary, but the intent is the same: to teach a lesson through storytelling, to pass down history, and to share a moral or uplift morale. Work songs of enslaved Black Americans have since been recorded by those who saw the importance of preserving this telling part of history as the population of people who lived through it slowly dwindled away. However, reading the song lyrics is nothing like singing them, or even hearing them sung. The bottom line is, when you are subjected to simply reading these work songs, you can only vicariously imagine. There is a distance between you and the intensive melody of a people singing their lives into the rhythms. Some said the work songs were simply ditties to keep the working people all in time with each other. And while that is most practical and true, it is not the whole story. Some songs are well known to be songs of double meaning. Songs that alerted people to secret meeting times and locations. Songs that alerted people to news from other plantations at a time where the slavers went through great lengths to estrange the enslaved Black population from their neighbors, families, and from making friends from other places. But the human spirit will always find a way to reach out, to spread information, to console an aching heart. And oral literature has always been there to help. Oral literature has something else: the capacity for immediate audience involvement and direct engagement with its audience.
Went down to the river Jordan, where John baptized three. When I walked the devil in hell, says Johnny baptized me. I say, roll, Jordan, roll. Oh, now roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise, ever, Lord, for the year, Jordan, roll.
According to an article by Vani Capadeo, an English literature and language degree holder was said to oppose the notification that religious material would be banned in their ceremony by stating that, quote, systems of wealth and patronage meant that a lot of poetry and music was produced for churches as performance spaces and the congregation as audience. This meant that the writers of the religious pieces for large chunks of European history under the rule of the church were no more religious than any particular person, but they wrote religious pieces because that is who would pay the bills and put food and drink in their mouths. A simpler example of this could be made from family history or legends and myths. The teller might omit or embellish certain parts of the story, depending on who is listening. If it is children they are telling family stories to, they might omit the more confusing and adult happenings, only fleshing them out once the child has grown into a curious adult and revived the story through questions. The teller might embellish on the more fantastic parts of the legend in order to capture a wary audience or encourage a nervous or worried one. Some stories are true, some might be so old they've become legend. Either way, the irreversible and irreplaceable effect they have on the human spirit is unique to oral literature. It is the living in the word. So powerful is orated or oral literature that British colonial rule banned shouters, people extremely vocal in their prayers, singing, and preaching in Trinidad and Tobago in 1917. they did not lift this ban until the 1950s. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, a famed Negro spiritual popularized in Europe by the Jubilee Singers of Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, was put on a list of musical works deemed, quote, undesired and harmful, end quote, in 1939 by the Nazi German Reich's Music Examination Office. To quote the writer N. Scott Momaday, a word has power in and of itself. It comes from nothing into sound and meaning. It gives origin to all things.